Murder charges have now been filed against a Shoals man in connection with a recent homicide. More on that. Plus, a water tower project in Huntingburg has run into a few problems, and host Bill Potter brings us another edition of Informed. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin tonight with murder charges being filed against a Shoals man after he stabbed his son to death on Sunday during a dispute. 60-year-old John Bruce Toe of Shoals was formally charged with murder yesterday afternoon in Martin County Court after an in-depth investigation by Indiana State Police. As mentioned, Toe was in a domestic dispute throughout the day this past Sunday with his son, 32-year-old Jonathan Toe, also of Shoals. The dispute boiled over when John stabbed Jonathan in the neck with a fixed-blade knife, resulting in the severing of Jonathan's carotid artery. Jonathan later died from that injury. On Monday morning, John Toe was initially charged on account of criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon. After further investigation by state police, the Martin County Prosecutor's Office found ample probable cause to charge Toe with the murder of his son. Martin County Prosecutor Mike Steiner says he's grateful for the hard work and time dedicated by all law enforcement on this case. Officials with the Jasper Street Department say this upcoming Monday morning, June 16th, they will be closing a portion of Bartley Street in order to perform a replacement of a storm sewer. The department says weather permitting, Bartley Street between 6th and 8th Streets will be shut down for the sewer repairs. Motorists are being asked to use an alternate route during this time to ensure the safety of workers, pedestrians, and the motorists themselves. Work on the Southside Water Tower in Huntingburg has run into a few problems. Last night, the Huntingburg City Council heard that the project was being held up due to the quality of the paint job done by project contractor Utility Services. Water Superintendent Todd Williams told the council that the inspector had stopped work on the project after it was found that the primer coat of paint applied to the outside of the tank was blistering and sagging. The project had been running slightly ahead of its scheduled June 15th completion date prior to the stoppage. Williams says Utility Services had planned on sanding the areas that were blistering before applying the top coat. That was not part of the city's contract for the work, thus the project was stopped. Williams sent Utility Services a letter telling them to brush blast the exterior of the tank and reapply the primer coat. As of last night's meeting, there has been no response from the contractor. In the meantime, the council decided to have the tower refilled to take care of problems for customers with low water pressure while the project details are being worked out. Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner says in spite of the problems, some good may still come out of the situation.
Because the interior job is complete, we will have ability in the future to, if we would have to, drain the tank and do some exterior painting. Because the interior work is already done, we'll have some options to keep pressure in the tank that we did not have at the beginning of this process.
In other business, the council approved 4 new applicants for the city's Reserve Officers Program. Police Chief Art Parks told the board there were 11 applicants in all for the program. The selection of the 4 was done through physical agility tests, background checks, and interviews with various city supervisors. Parks says the applicants will likely be utilized for high school football games and other events like the Huntingburg Herbstfest. He says the new applicants should help to lighten the workload for the department's other officers.
It will, once we're at a point where we've got enough. I can have up to 10. With this process, we've started out with 11. We've got 4. So, yeah, it's set up to do that. But right now, they're young and just first starting out, so it's gonna be a little bit of a process. So it won't be right away, but yeah, down the road it will be.
3 of the 4 officers added were Huntingburg residents. In final notes, the council approved a settlement on utility bills with Far Best Foods. Energy Superintendent John Rudepoler says an investigation into city gas sales in comparison to gas purchases found that the company had paid more than $480,000 worth of overages on its natural gas bills over a 38-month span, beginning back in 2011. The overages began after a meter upgrade at the Far Best plant. Following the upgrade, the city accidentally applied a multiplier utilized for tracking usage that doesn't show up on the meter due to a lack of capacity. Rudipolar says the department's budget is not affected by the settlement and there is no impact on gas rates for customers. Firefighters with the Holland Fire Department were kept busy yesterday afternoon with an outbuilding fire at a residence. At 3:30 yesterday afternoon, fire crews were called to a residence in the 300 block of South 4th Street for the reported fire. Holland Fire Chief Adam Chambers says the 12 by 12 foot building was completely engulfed in flames at the time crews arrived. Chambers says no official cause has been determined, though he says burning trash may have been part of the problem due to hot and dry conditions. On that note, Chambers says burning things like trash or other debris this time of year can be fire hazards if burning is not done properly.
You know, just got to be careful what we're burning and be aware of the surroundings, dry grass. You know, even though we just had a lot of rain, the grass is still dry, so it doesn't take long to dry out and catch fire.
No one was injured in this fire. The building and the several items that were housed in it were total losses. The value of the items amounted to roughly $4,000 according to Chambers. The Holland Fire Department responded with 1 truck and 9 men. They were on scene for roughly half an hour. Huntingburg Police are set to hold a child safety seat clinic tomorrow from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Huntingburg Police Department. Police are conducting this clinic to help ensure child safety seats are properly installed in vehicles. A child safety seat tech will be on hand to check car seats and show caregivers how to properly install a safety seat in their own vehicle. Police Chief Art Parks says having the seats properly installed is the only way to ensure a child's safety when traveling in a car.
That's real important. You know, your child's life depends on, you know, being secured in there properly. I had 2 officers go to training, I believe it was a week-long class, just for the seat belts, and the seat belts, latches, and all that for the children's seats. So they are properly trained.
Police also encourage caregivers to bring their child to ensure that the seat is properly fit. A tech will demonstrate how to make necessary adjustments to keep the child comfortable and safe while traveling. Safety tips will also be provided as part of the clinic. The Child Safety Seat Clinic is free and open to the public. For more information, you can contact the Huntingburg Police Department at 683-3003. A candidate for the Democratic ticket in Indiana House District 45 is set to be chosen this weekend. Democratic Precinct Committeemen from the district are set to hold a double caucus this weekend to name their candidate. The first of the caucuses will be to appoint a new state representative to finish out the term of Craig Battles, and the second will be to select a candidate for this fall's upcoming general election. Battles resigned from his seat back on May 16th, saying that he wanted to spend more time with his family. Now, 2 candidates had originally filed to fill the spots, but one of those has dropped out. Knox County resident Rick Marshall decided to withdraw his name from contention, a move that left Bianca Gamble as the lone candidate heading into the caucuses. This would be Gamble's second attempt at running for an Indiana House seat. She ran for the District 46 House seat back in 2010. Gamble has previously served in Vigo County's government. She served as Linton Township trustee and assessor for 20 years. Gamble would be facing off with Republican candidate Bruce Borders. Borders had been the District 45 representative prior to being defeated by Battles during the 2012 election. Gamble says her message in this campaign will focus on strong public education, a strong middle class, and strong cities and towns. She says she looks forward to hearing about the concerns that residents in District 45 have. District 45 covers parts of Davies, Greene, Knox, Sullivan, and Vigo counties. Finally this evening, last night marked a big night for our sister station, WBDC-FM. The 33rd edition of the WBDC Country Showdown was held last night, and a new champion has been crowned. This year's winner, Bloomfield resident Rob Berry.
Blue train is rolling, rolling down the line. Lord, I miss my woman. I'm about to lose my mind. Mama, I saw Jim at Vicksburg today. Had him in my sights, but I let him walk away. I couldn't kill him, Mama. Blood ain't blue and gray.
Defending Showdown champion, the Has-Beens of Huntingburg were this year's runner-up, and Kailin Bird of Toledo, Illinois came home in third. 13 acts in all took part in last night's showdown. Barry says winning the showdown is a dream come true for him.
Oh, it's a thrill. And first, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving me the talent to do this. And you know, there was a lot of talent here, so I didn't know. But to be honest about it, I felt so good when I come out. And this is the first year that I've ever just done it by myself. You know, just did it raw, vocal banjo and vocal acoustic. But I really felt comfortable. The sound man was great, and I could hear my voice crystal clear, and I just didn't have to really work hard. And I felt great with the crowd. The crowd responded well, and this is just a great, great win.
Barry now advances to the state showdown to be held later this year. The winner of that event gets a $1,000 cash prize and will perform at the fall regional competition. Regional winners then get an all-expenses-paid trip to the national final, where the winner gets $100,000 as the grand prize. Now, last night's showdown also featured a tribute to a French lick boy. 2-year-old Kailin Bird is currently battling through E. coli and got some support from those in attendance last night.
To show support, some friends and family of the Birds have asked people to post on social media them simply holding up a C for Kailin. One of their friends contacted us at the studio and asked if we would take a picture of our staff at the WBC studios showing our support. Well, we told them we could do you one better. How about we do it in front of our audience? So all we need for you is to raise your right hand up, make a C, and we're going to get a picture here. Let's see. Thank you guys very much. There is a Facebook group called Prayers for Kailin. I invite you guys to search for it and join it, and keep up, and we'll say our prayers for Kailin. Hope the best for him.
Bird has already had his large intestines removed as he battles through the illness. To continue supporting Kailin Bird, you can join the Facebook group Prayers for Kailin. All right, coming up after the break, your local forecast, sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.